The dissertation I choose to review is entitled A Self-Exploration of the Relationship Between Art Teaching and Artistic Practice. This was a dissertation for a doctoral degree consideration by Christy Ortiz at the University of Houston in Texas. The problem that Miss Ortiz posts is that she, as the author, is noticing her teaching ability and her ability not only to gain new knowledge about her subject, but her own ability and time to create her personal art is declining since she became a high school art teacher. The rationale that she had for choosing this subject is that she's noticed over the past 5 years of her teaching career that the knowledge that she was gaining from her peers, also the knowledge she was getting from after school continuing education programs set up by the district, was not helping her become an effective teacher, and that in fact nothing seemed to be going in the right direction. Her personal art was slipping to the wayside, and she desperately needed to find her own identity. Uncovering these issues prompted the researcher to look back on her experience and reflect on the changes that have occurred. The artistic media that she is involved is art. She is a high school art teacher. She teaches advanced photography and also more basic introduction to art classes. The method of research that she chose to use is a qualitative research. The author more specifically uses a type of qualitative research known as self-study. The author employs self-study to examine her personal practices as a teacher and as an artist. It is meant to see how these experiences are affecting her abilities as a high school art teacher. She reflects back 5 years on her teaching career, her own personal art education, and how her practice now compares to how she originally was educated, not only in her teaching, but also in their attitude towards the subject. She provides a reflection not only from herself, but also from others in the form of stories and narratives. The author cites several different sources on the subject of self-study research. This is to provide some sort of validity for the dissertation, for her research base. These sources are where she hopes to provide the validity for her study. Most of the self-study aspects of her research seem to be reflective on the subject, and overall, in my opinion, rather unreliable. Through the author's research, she was able to acknowledge her problem with her own art. The author keeps a journal and a portfolio of all of her artwork that she did in the 2-month period where she was doing the research. And through this self-reflection, through this looking back on the past 5 years, she was able to come to grips with her own artistic identity. And as she finds this reflection, as it's starting to develop, she's really able to view her own art in a different way and to make some time for herself. And also this changes her teaching technique, where she's no longer focused on teaching specific methods and specific styles and specific techniques, but she now incorporates creativity into her classroom, hoping that the students will also find their own personal identity. The author claimed that the research helped her once again find her identity and help reignite her love for creating her own art and teaching others. She believes that by continuing to investigate these issues of teachers losing touch with their identity and losing touch with their own artistic freedom, these issues of art teaching and artistic practice, art teachers will should continue to converse and help provide themselves and others with space to create art. Such an approach will assist them developing healthy identities without compromising themselves as teachers or artists. She also concludes that self-study in any discipline is a useful tool to uncover any area one might be struggling with. The author concludes that investigating one's own practices through self-studies and self-reflection can inspire art teachers to re-examine their practices and develop their own studio practices and own studio techniques, such as helping students find their own creativity. Other directions and other topics that the author discussed are things like teacher knowledge, art making as knowledge, teacher practice, the impact of professional development on teacher identity and artistic identity, and also the qualitative research method and narrative inquiry. These are all topics that she also delved in. In my opinion, the research was good, and that the author had a good direction with the overall theme of the dissertation. The type of research that she used, however, I feel did not really support the findings with much validity. A self-study is far too objective. It's far too opinion-based. Nothing is real rock solid. Really, the author can manipulate their own opinion or manipulate their own reflection in order to produce the desired result. So that really doesn't help the validity of the research at all. A self-study would prove to be a lot more helpful and a lot more supportive if it was included with another more data-based kind of research, something that's real empirical, where it's very, very hands-on, and the listener or the reader of the dissertation could really see a data-based result. And then with the self-study, with the reflection as a part, like a side direction, it would just help push that forward. It would help say, not only is this data-based, but look, this is a reflection. I have also experienced this, and this would help with this. That's my opinion on her research and her methods that she used, and that's that.